of Higher Education Malaysia as a member of the Economics and Finance Cluster of the Majlis Professor Negara MPN. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us all give a round of applause for Professor Dr. Abdul Rahim Abdul Rahman. The time and place is yours.
Warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Alhamdulillah, I would like to say thank you to the organizer of Asian Universities International Conference in Islamic Finance 2021, University Islam Negeri Sunan Kalijaga, for a very good organization of the conference. And to all participants of ICIFE 2021, welcome. And today, inshallah, I will be sharing on the topic Global Challenges and Islamic Finance Education, the roles of International Council of Islamic Finance Educators. So I have been appointed recently as President of ICIFE from 2021 this year until 2023. Inshallah, this morning I'll be sharing 5 global challenges that may have very strong impacts on Islamic finance education, and I will address some pertinent points and needs for a body, for an academic association, international academic association, to mobilize our efforts in order to manage and in order to us to face the impacts of global challenges. The first global challenge, which I would like to share this morning, is the impact of global lockdown on Islamic finance education. And as we are all aware, pandemic COVID-19 has affected us, not only in education, but also in our lives. The economy of the advanced countries are affected. The economies of the emerging countries in the world are also affected. The economic downturn are expected to be going on for the next couple of years. And in terms of Islamic finance education, there are a number of issues of concerns. Number one, by virtue of the pandemic, many of the universities, even schools, have to rely on virtual teaching and learning education. Now, the problem is actually there are pros and cons of virtual as compared to face-to-face learning and teaching. And as a result of technology, we need to have agility. Islamic universities and non-Islamic universities, all universities that are offering Islamic finance program need to have agility, especially agility in the curriculum design, agility in doing assessment virtually, in order to address the latest educational needs and challenges. And we realize that in many Muslim countries, especially the emerging countries, lack of access to technology and internet due to digital divide, due to geographical and economic disparity to a certain extent has affected education in general. And Islamic financial education is no exception. So the question is, how able are the higher education institutions across the Muslim world, especially, to quickly adapt to new environment, including the availability of budget, financial resources, to invest on technologies as well as bandwidth to ensure that education is actually not affected. And in the context of Islamic finance education, we see the demand less than supply, especially we can see now the development for postgraduate programs in many countries due to the financial distress among the people, and also the traveling restrictions that restrict the supply of foreign students to many Muslim countries. So these are the challenges, but one of the most important challenges, which I said earlier, is actually the virtual education, which to a certain extent has resulted many of us becoming less human. We rely too much on technology, though technology is good. Technology bring benefit in terms of greater access to education. However, we need to also address the lack of human sides of education as a result of global lockdown that we are facing for the past few months. Now, the second global challenge, which I think all of us need to be aware, is actually the impacts of sustainable development goals as set by the United Nations. The question is how Islamic finance education can contribute towards many Muslim countries in achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We know that Sustainable Development Goals have high aim that they have set. The United Nations have set a very high aim, among others. They want to achieve no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, etc. And as well as the issue of environment like climate degradation and so on and so forth. Now, the issues of Islamic finance education, there are many. And one of the things that we need to address in the context of achieving a very noble sustainable development goal is to what extent our Islamic finance curriculum able to accommodate the SDGs. To what extent our educators are equipped and ready to effectively impart the knowledge of SDGs. And in the context of Islamic education in general, to what extent Islamic finance education able to integrate and embed the principles of Maqasid al-Sharia, which prioritize 5 important areas of human beings, deen, religion, life, and so on. And that also prioritize in the context of value-based intermediation, in the context of development of the world financial movement now, that prioritize not just prosperity, but also people and planet. Global challenge number 3 is actually in terms of the impacts of the Islamic banking and Islamic finance in general, as well as the employability of Islamic finance graduates. We know that all banks, not just Islamic banks, have to be stable, sustainable, and have high integrity. And the question that we are facing today is actually to what extent Islamic finance curriculum has sufficiently equipped our students with awareness on current regulatory requirements. To what extent our students are aware of international standards, prudential standards. To what extent our students in the context of Islamic finance education are well exposed to, for example, our fee standards on accounting. To what extent our Islamic finance students are exposed to Islamic Financial Services Board standards on prudential regulation and so on and so forth. And these are the facets that all of us, we are all educators here in ICIFE conference, should be looking inwards and look at to what extent we are able to contribute towards enhancing the stability of Islamic finance institution in the industry and so on. We are contributing in terms of graduates who will work, who will contribute, and who will sustain the industry. Secondly, in this context of resilience banking challenges, Islamic finance curriculum, as well as educators, must be up to date, must follow and must include in the curriculum latest development, especially on the issue of economic and environmental sustainability, as well as on the issue of knowledge and policies. These are the latest international development that Islamic finance education cannot be left out as a result of the latest development, which we all of us educators need to equip ourselves. Number 3, last but not least, in the context of its resilient banking, is that Islamic finance educators, all of us, must be able to effectively educate our students, teach our students, inculcate into our students how to manage ethical challenges. There are many challenges in the industry. One of the challenges is actually the ethical dilemma when all our graduates are absorbed or hired by the Islamic financial institution. They have to face a lot of challenges, including ethical challenges, as well as one and another aspect which is very important for them to be able to contribute in managing Sharia non-compliance risks to ensure that all this may not affect the integrity of Islamic financial institution. We are all responsible. All of us have the amanah. All of us have the responsibility to make sure our Islamic banks, our Islamic financial institutions, takaful companies, and all Islamic investment companies and so on and so forth that are based on Sharia are stable, sustainable, and have high integrity. Another global challenge number 4, is the impact of traditional versus digital banking. Now, the question that we need to be aware of ourselves is that the new age banks are more fully digital and platform-based. The market is no longer within the constraint of our own country. We have larger marketplace community. We are more customer-centric organization. The culture is that we must be fast, we must be willing to take risks, we must be able to, we must be agile to manage the technology. So the way forward for Islamic finance education to address global challenge number 4 is actually to what extent Islamic finance curriculum must continuously be updated. To what extent Islamic finance curriculum must provide sufficient knowledge and skills. Because to manage digital economy in our time is actually the ability of us to embrace technology, but at the same time, as human beings, we have to manage human beings as humans. Islamic finance educators must also be updated. Our knowledge as well as our digital work culture as well as technologies. Today is a show of how we embrace technology by having virtual conference or hybrid conference of ICIFE. This is the way forward. We have to manage also our students, our graduates that we are going to produce. They have to be prepared. They need to have agility, ability to adapt, and also techno-savvy, the ability to use technology to adapt to new digital working environment. Otherwise, they will be left out. Otherwise, our Islamic banks will be denied of competent graduates that will support the development of Islamic financial industry. Last but not least, global challenge number 5 is actually the need for us to strengthen Sharia knowledge, especially in our Islamic finance curriculum. Our students and the future graduates that we need to produce must be the one who have strong Sharia knowledge in order for them, in order for all of us educators to contribute positively to the industry. We want the industry to be more Sharia compliant. We want the Islamic financial industry to be more sustainable, but at the same time, have good ethical values. And more importantly, we want Islamic financial institutions to thrive, to be profitable. But at the same time, we want Islamic financial institutions to have deeply noble Sharia products that are grounded in the prohibition of riba, gharar, maisir, and so on. So therefore, what do we need? We need curriculum innovation. We need to have skill enhancement of our graduates. We need our graduates not only to specialize in Islamic finance, but most importantly, very strong Sharia curriculum as part of Islamic finance program. Therefore, we need necessary education to equip future Islamic finance professionals. And perhaps in the future, we need professional qualification. They are guided by professional bodies, international professional bodies, to produce real professionals in Islamic finance. So the basic skill set that we have today of Islamic banking financial products, we have to shift, the paradigm shift towards more comprehensive understanding of Islamic finance with deep-rooted Sharia principles, with products that are deeply rooted in Sharia, and the knowledge of Sharia principle becomes so pertinent. Thank you very much. I have addressed 5 global challenges based on my perspective. Inshallah, I will then share a little bit more about what is ICIFE. A little bit of introduction to International Council of Islamic Finance Educators. We were established in January 2014 with the aim to further improve the quality of Islamic financial education, Islamic finance education, not only in Malaysia, though we were established in Malaysia, but our aim is actually to reach to the world. The main objective is to advance the talent pool, the educators, the scholars, and to enhance the level of competence and professionalism of our educators. We want to uplift their competency. We want to make Islamic finance educators more professionals in the field of Islamic finance. And internationally, there is no such body been established as yet. So Malaysia has taken the initiative to establish an international body by the name, it is an international council to bring together all universities in Muslim and non-Muslim countries who offer program in Islamic finance to be together to draft and to set the agenda together for the Islamic financial industry internationally. ICIFE was registered by the Registrar of Societies in Malaysia in 25th August 2017, and Higher Education of Malaysia, Department of Higher Education in Malaysia, has already endorsed that ICIFE is a flagship institution with respect to Islamic finance education far back in 2017, 4 years ago. What is our agenda? Our vision is very clear. Our vision is actually to be a premier global. Though we are based in Malaysia, we want to reach out to our friends, our Muslim countries, as well as non-Muslim countries who offer Islamic finance education to come together, to come forward, collaborate, innovate, become an enterprising organization ourselves in order to sustain ourselves financially, not relying to any government. Even though we started with the funding from the government of Malaysia, we aim to be self-sustainable without relying on government, because we believe internationally, Islamic finance educators need a platform. And this is a platform for us, all of us together, to help ourselves, to help each other in order to uplift our competency as well as our ability to produce good quality graduate in Islamic finance. So our focus would be Islamic finance education quality assurance, because we believe that the mission that we have set is actually we need to design, we need to develop comprehensive curriculum framework for Islamic finance education. That is the important mandate. We need to make sure the curriculum that we have in all universities that offer Islamic finance are up to the level whereby not only we can contribute to the industry, but more importantly, to get the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, mardatillah. Allah bless us because the education that we provide really achieve the maqasid of Sharia, the reason why Sharia prohibited Islamic banks and insurance. Now, moving forward, we need to enhance, as I said, professionalism and expertise of Islamic finance educators. We aim to become the catalyst for the growth of Islamic finance education and talents in consonance with the market development. We need to follow, we need to understand, we need to be part of the market. But at the same time, we address the societal needs. At the same time, we ensure the Sharia is strong in our curriculum. Our education is also focusing on the achievement of Maqasid Sharia. That is what we aim for. My next slide, I don't have many slides, inshallah, don't worry. I go to my next slide. A little bit more of our activities, just to give some background to all participants of ICIFE this morning. We have had our 7th annual general meeting in 27 March, and we have launched Malaysian Islamic Finance Education Register, Atlas 2021 and beyond, which compile all the talents that we have in Malaysia. And we also try to bring in some international talents as well in the document or in the register that we have produced, which is what we call MIFA 2021. That was actually the previous significant work done by the previous committee, but starting from April onwards, we organized a series of roundtable discussion, mainly because during the lockdown, we don't have much ability to do physical activities. So we organize every 2 months roundtable discussion that address the needs and the global challenges facing Islamic finance education. Future programs that we plan, ICIFE will be launching a very new program called ICIFE Certificate of Takaful for Educators program. We realize that Takaful industry has been left behind. Islamic Bank has been given prominent place in many conferences, in many industry activities. But however, Takaful industry has been left out. Takaful industry is a very important component of Islamic finance. We have good Islamic banking, but we don't have good Islamic insurance industry. That will be a handicap to the Islamic financial industry that we want to develop. So we want to build competency of our lecturers and educators. We want to give a very good industry-related as well as deep Sharia knowledge on Takaful to all Islamic finance educators, with the hope, inshallah, in the future, we may be able to offer a master's degree in Takaful. In the future, could be Bachelor of Islamic Insurance or Takaful. And the program will be launched in January 2022. And alhamdulillah, we managed to secure funding from FWD Takaful Malaysia. And the program will be free of charge. All participants will go through this program. Mostly we will invite open invitation to lecturers later. to join this program free of charge over a period of 7 months to equip and to uplift their competency, inshallah. Secondly, we're also planning for turning our existing module on Certificate of Islamic Finance Educators, e-module, into e-module, electronic module, and we hope to be launched by the middle of next year. Thirdly, we also aim to do more research, but our research will be focusing on education. Issues like Islamic finance program standards and quality assurance framework. These are the areas which many are not focusing on it. We will focus not the areas that universities are focusing. We will focus on areas which universities are not focusing. And the area of Islamic finance education is one of the area of research. They are under research. If we do good latest literature review, then you will realize the gap. We also need to have a thorough research on the gaps between the needs of the industry and the curriculum, the academia, in a way, how we produce our graduate, and to extend the needs of the industry. And we must also do a very important research also on graduate employability. To what extent our graduates are employed by Islamic financial industry? What are the responses from the Islamic financial industry on the quality of our graduates? To what extent our graduates are able to contribute positively to the Islamic financial industry? What are the gaps? These are the areas that we believe to address the global challenges, the 5 global challenges that I have shared at the beginning. ICIFE aim to address all those needs through research, through education, and through various other activities like forums, discussion series, and so on and so forth. Currently, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as at 15 November, we have altogether 244 members, comprising of Malaysians as well as international members. We have active ordinary members. We also have active associate members. We also have institutional members, 2 from Indonesia and 2 from Philippines. Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta from Indonesia, as well as Ibn Khaldun University from Indonesia, Philippine Association of Islamic Accountants Philippines, as well as Mindanao State University have become our institutional members. For more information about institutional members, you can contact us later. For those of you who want to become members, under the active ordinary or active associate members are normally those who are involved in the industry, those who may be involved in training activities, not just lecturers, can also become our members. But most of our members are lecturers at universities and colleges. And we have international members from Algeria, Brunei, Indonesia, UK, and so on and so forth. So we welcome more international members. The moment we are more diversified, become more international, inshallah, we can address more international needs. In order to address the needs of countries like Indonesia, like Philippines, like Brunei, Malaysia, and so on, we need to have more members so that we can learn each other, know each other, and then plan the program together, inshallah. We are trying to be an inclusive association, academic association, that address the need of the Islamic financial industry. Let's join together and become members of ICIFE. For the past, many could be asking, what are the activities that we have done in the past? You may be asking, what benefit could ICIFE bring to all members? We organize a lot of things. We organize training for lecturers. We organize, of course, symposium on quality assurance and education. We have training workshops on latest technologies. We have trained for the trainers program. We also secretariat to ICIFE for the past many years. And all these are actually part and parcel of our contribution to members. The moment you become our members, I give you a very simple example. We organize every 2 months roundtable discussion. It's free for members. Non-members have to pay a little bit to join our roundtable discussion. So the benefit is actually, as a member of ICIFE, you can join our program. Some are free of charge, some are with minimum charge. Non-members, of course, they have to pay full fee. So the purpose is actually to get people, to get Islamic finance educators come together, try to help each other and benefit from our activities. Okay, just to share a little bit before I end my session, this is what we organized during lockdown, whereby we don't have very much mobility. We organized series of roundtable discussion, alhamdulillah. The first one that we organized on value-based intermediation and maqasid syariah in Islamic finance, alhamdulillah. We have very good turnout. And this is latest development. As I mentioned, the global challenges. One of the global challenges is actually United Nations SDGs. So we address the issue of value-based intimidation and sustainable development goals in our first discussion series in April this year. Then later on, we discuss on Sharia governance policy document. This is actually a discussion on the needs for Sharia regulation and Sharia requirements to be embedded in education as well. So we know the industry has to move into proper Sharia governance, but to what extent Islamic financial education embrace and adapt the requirement of Sharia governance into our curriculum. The third discussion series that we had was actually on global challenges, impact of global challenges. We discussed about COVID-19 pandemic and the impacts on Islamic finance education. We invited a professor from Durham University to be with us, Professor Muhammad Asute. We have Professor Mansur Ibrahim from ICIFE to really come forward together, sharing the challenges that we face during pandemic COVID-19 and way forward. How do we address those challenges? Last but not least, we also organize, as I said, we need in our curriculum very deep Sharia fundamentals. So we discuss the contemporary issues, the contemporary applications of Islamic legal maxim, qawaid fiqhiyah in Islamic finance, especially in Islamic finance education. So we have two prominent Sharia scholars with us. One is actually a member of the, both of them are members of the Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia, Central Bank of Malaysia. So we discuss these issues in relation to the global challenges that we face, and we want our educators to be equipped. We want our educators to be aware so that we together can improve each other through our curriculum and the way we educate our graduates. Ultimately, we want to contribute to develop Islamic financial industry, but ultimately, we want to contribute to the benefit of mankind and to achieve maradatillah, keredaan daripada Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Our intention, our aim, purely lillahi ta'ala, to help each other to reach and also to get the blessing of Allah. Last, of course, before I end my session, in case any of you want to become our member, please, you can email us. You can also check our website, www.icife.org.my. You can email us, admin@icife.org. We are based in International Islamic University Malaysia. We are very fortunate to be given an office space on level 3 of the Kuliah of Economics and Management Sciences at IIUM. So that is our so-called base. And we are hosted by IIUM, but we are actually an international organization. Aim to become an international body, inshallah, in the future. Please feel free to contact us. I welcome all of you to become our members. Let us all together join this noble effort. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.
نقدم جزيل الشكر لمحاضر.
Thank you very much to Professor Abdul Rahim for the exposition and the wonderful presentation. We would like to thank you very much from the deepest parts of our heart for all of the knowledge that you have shared to us. And we hope that this has been very much beneficial to all of our participants, both online and offline. And we hope everyone has gained as much as us in this event. Thank you very much again to Professor Abdul Rahim for the exposition. And without further ado,
Assalamualaikum. See you again, inshallah.
Waalaikumsalam.
أيها السيدات والسادة هيا بنا نختتم هذا البرنامج بقراءة الحمد لله. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, all of our prestigious guests, after this, we shall continue on to our parallel session. To all of the offline and online participants, you may continue to your respectful rooms in the Zoom room, you may continue there for the parallel session. And this ends this first part of the final day of the ASEAN University's International Conference on Islamic Finance. We would like to apologize for any inconveniences. That is all from us. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
International Short Course is international annual program in Faculty of Islamic Economic and Business in State Islamic University of Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, to enhance the academic capability and student networking across the countries. In the second International Short Course event, we brought the theme Promoting Halal Industry. The chosen theme is designed to respond to the development of halal ecosystem and halal industry in Indonesia especially. We hope by this event, halal industries could